like this brings you back into reality as to what the job's all about, the dangers.
We were all glued to the TV when this happened. We have the radio scanners, and we were all amazed what they did and the danger they were in.
A line of blue, at least 5 rows deep. Thousands of firefighters stood in solidarity, saluting a brother one final time, even if most of the men and women here never knew Lieutenant Edward Walsh.
I think it's really incredible that there's this much support. There's people here from Chicago, Kentucky, all over New England. I think it's really nice that it shows support.
Many of these men and women in blue, Mainers. Wednesday's fire hit close to home for them.
We listened from the moment the call came in and saying, geez, I said, what if I'm in that situation? How would I handle that? How would my kids handle that? It was just too hot to understand. We're in that position every day, but we don't really pay attention to it until something happens.
For Lewiston Fire Lieutenant Mark Karen, being here means so much more. His son Andrew is a police officer in Boston.
It could have been any one of us, helping them out. I mean, I wasn't at that call, but there was a adjoining district that helped them out. So we work closely together during a lot of times, so we try to support each other.
Support that has been overwhelmingly apparent the last few days in this area.
When we go into burning houses or to any emergency scene for that matter, you expect and know that somebody's going to be there to have your back, and these guys, this all shows it.
Around 150 firefighters came from Maine for this. On Thursday, for the funeral of firefighter Michael Kennedy, even more are expected.
Engine 41 and Ladder 15 is housing us tonight. We were there this morning. They gave us breakfast. They gave us a bunk room tonight so we can spend the night and be here for tomorrow's funeral. Just amazing. They just opened up their place for us.
It's the kind of support these men and women say can't be explained. A brotherhood standing in honor for a brother most never knew.
It makes me feel part of something bigger. Even though we go to work, the same station every day, you see something like this, you know that these guys not only have your back on the job, but they have your back off the job also.
In Watertown, Massachusetts, Amanda Hill, News Center.
This was the day they launched the boat.
Oh.
That's my daughter Jody, who broke the bottle over the bow.
Barbara Fournier keeps a thick book of photos of her late husband Joe, and still tears up when she thinks of him.
He fished that right up until he couldn't fish anymore.
Joe Fournier was a lobsterman in Owl's Head. This boat, Mr. Coffee, named for his favorite beverage. Joe died from cancer more than 9 years ago. So imagine Barbara's surprise last fall when this photo showed up on Facebook.
Mr. Coffee, JF 1326 was his lobster number.
Wow.
License.
It was a photo of a toggle buoy from one of Joe's lobster traps, found by someone, but where? She had to find out.
Well, that's when I went on and I said, oh my, and it said found in Cary. And I'm like, where's Cary?
Barbara found out that photo had been taken in County Kerry on the west coast of Ireland. Amazingly, Joe's blue toggle buoy had made it all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, where it was found on a beach in 2007 by Rosemary Hill.
It turns out Rosemary is a beachcomber and photographer in Ireland and had put the buoy in her garden. She posted her own message after hearing from Barbara.
Oh, she goes, I need to send this buoy back to you, to the rightful owner. And I haven't opened this because I waited.
Which is exactly what she did. So today in the kitchen she built and shared with Joe, Barbara got a bit of him back.
It's beautiful. It's touching.
What an amazing trip that thing has had.
It brings back a lot of memories. A lot of memories. How hard he worked. He was a very hard worker.
Has it been hard thinking about opening that up?
Yeah. He was my everything. It is so hard that he's been gone so long.
And in that package, something else. A new note from Rosemary by that Irish beach 2,700 miles away.
I'm so thrilled to be able to return this back to you and your family. I can imagine how much it must mean to you.
Barbara hopes they will get to meet someday to say a proper thanks. It was just a broken blue buoy on the other side of the sea, but thanks to the kindness of a stranger and the intervention of the internet, it will now be a cherished reminder of the hands that once used it. In Owl's Head, Don Kerrigan, News Center. Reverend George Dole started running when he was a student at Morse High School. He's 82 now and hasn't stopped. He ran for Yale in college and ran for Oxford during grad school in England. That's what put him on the starting line May 6th, 1954.
I'm on the pole.
You're on the pole.
Yeah.
It's a moment in sports history. No racer had ever run a sub-4-minute mile.
There had been some marvelous milers, who just outclassed everyone else, and they had tried and failed, and there was real doubt as to whether it was actually physically possible to break 4 minutes.
The race was between Oxford and the British AAU. Roger Bannister and 2 other runners were there to break the record.
They were saying it might happen, it might happen. And I think there was almost a feeling that if it happened once, it might never happen again.
Dole says he started on the inside lane and stayed close for the first lap. This photo shows it.
This is Chris Brasher. It's the Cambridge one he's reading. This is Roger Bannister. This is Chris Chataway.
But the race was for the record. And as the leaders pulled away, Dole says he was watching.
Going into the first turn, I think probably all the way around it, I think I was probably in third.
His best time had been 4 minutes, 10 seconds. But Dole says he came out too fast that day and ended up running 4:25. After he finished, the record was announced.
A new British, a new all-comers record, a new world record. The time is 3 minutes, yeah.
And the place went crazy.
And the place went crazy, yeah.
Reverend Dole became a highly respected theologian and moved home to Bath in 1999 to become pastor of this church where his father had served before him. Fond memories of that race 60 years ago, but he says, I didn't spend my life chasing Roger Bannister.
When I went over for the 40th, he invited me to sit at his table and was very, very cordial.
George Dole says that long ago race day is a nice memory, but not that relevant to the rest of his life. He has done and achieved a lot, but he still runs, and will always know he was there, one of 6, when history happened. In Bath, Don Kerrigan, News Center.